Good morning, everybody. Painblade back here again from Server 1, representing ISC and Tribes Lab. Happy Sunday, everybody. Happy Father's Day to those fathers and soon-to-be fathers. Just want to give a quick shout-out to everybody on the Sakura video. Thank you for the comments and the compliments on the video. She's a great character. I hope everybody gets a chance to pull her. If not, gotta grab her from the Shinobi Exchange shop and use her. I know she'll be at 1 star, but you know what? Just hold on to that. Maybe you'll pull her in Legends when she's available if you don't plan to pull on this banner, and you get it to 3 stars, and then maybe you can put on some SR fragments to level her up. Personally, love her so far. I can just show you where I'm at in terms of what we did yesterday. Here we are. She is now 74, tier 15. And I'm working on getting her skills maxed. As you can see here, she's got pretty decent stats, and I've been using her for stage 30, and she's actually pretty good there. So I'm going to continue doing that. We're almost done stage 30, guys. I'm working on a secondary team, just powering that up and getting it going. And for those who have been waiting for a while, thank you for waiting patiently. I am actually getting Sasari up. As you can see, I spent most of my Rio today getting him to 7 stars, and now I'm actually putting in some work into getting him completed. Apparently, he's really good for stage 28 of the Abyss. So if you guys have him, use him specifically for this skill down here, Builder of the Puppets Corp, which actually reduces all enemies' defense by a certain percentage. I believe it's like 70% when you get him to 74% or something like that when you get him to level 74, maybe 70%. But either way, it's a really high percentage. So letting him die even at level 1 will give you at least 50% of the defense down for the opponent. So definitely worth having. So I'm going to be getting him up, guys. I again appreciate the wait on him. I know it's been a while, but my buddy Screw, congratulations, got first place with him, what was the plan. And now I can actually go ahead and build him up, and we'll be showcasing him very soon. But today, guys, we're going to focus on something else. We're going to focus on how to build a crowd control team. Now, what is crowd control? So I use the term CC a lot in Discord. Now, CC stands for crowd control. And what a crowd control character is somebody who can incapacitate, stun, paralyze, shadow stitch, etc. your opponent from having a turn or blocking the turn from occurring through a tribe. My opinion, probably the most potent characters in the game are crowd control characters. Now they're the best in PvE and in PvP. The reason why they're so important is instead of having a high defense or a high damage reduction rate, where an opponent hits you and you'll reduce the damage, by incapacitating an opponent, you can completely stop them from having a turn, and then following the next turn. Sometimes it's 2 turns, right? Depending on the character. So what I'm going to do today, guys, is I'm going to go over how to build a proper crowd control team. In my opinion, again, these are the best type of characters to have in PvP specifically, but also in places like PvE, such as stage 30 in the Abyss, right, where you need to crowd control because everybody there is just way more powerful than you are. So let's look at the list, guys. I'm going to actually go into the team section, and I'm going to show you my crowd control team. Now, every crowd control team, you want to have at least 1 or 2 stunners in each cell. That's the best way to do it, guys. 1 or 2 stunners. They can be AoE stunners, and they can be regular single target stunners. Now, a forewarning with AoE stunners. AoE stunners do better when there are multiple people still alive, as in they do 15% stun damage, but if you have 3 people alive, that's a better chance to stun, obviously, right? But single target characters have a higher percentage to stun, usually 30 to 35%, depending on the character. And they are better with single targets. So even having a smaller amount of characters left as an opponent, they're better to use than the AoE ones. So as you can see here in my build, what I've done here is in the force section, I've put in Kakashi, who is a 35% stun instant jutsu user. And then I have Mama Sakura, who has an AoE stun at 15%. Then I have Yor Naruto for nuking. Now the key, guys, is you can't just stack you can't just keep stacking crowd control. You have to have nukers to finish the job, right? The whole point is to incapacitate your opponent and then finish the job. You can't just keep incapacitating because eventually your opponent will catch up and your stuns will miss. So the purpose is to have a chance to stun and then finish them off with somebody who's a heavy hitter, right? In this case, Kakashi is one of the best heavy hitters in the game, so he instantly gives you both. So that's what makes him so powerful, right? Mama Sakura is the best SR in the game. She actually provides you with an AoE stun and attack down, and she also gives you damage increase rate. She also gives you an AoE heal and attack up percentage as well too, and damage reduction rate. She is the ultimate SR in my opinion, and definitely worth having on any crowd control team. Now the second line you see here, I've got a little bit of a different build. I've got an AoE user with the Dara. The reason why obviously we use a Dara here is because we want to up all of our characters' crits, so the nukers hit harder, obviously, and then you also want to lower the increase their crit damage, sorry, and also increase the crit rate, but also reduce the opponent's crit suppression, which is what he offers. But he also has that AOE stun. So the one thing I would add with him is if you have somebody who does a burn or a poison like Sasori, they'd be great together because Dadera's AoE Jutsu also does defense down if somebody has a status ailment such as poison, burn, etc. So definitely worth having something like that with him here. But for me personally, I'm using him for the crit. So all my crit characters hit a lot harder, such as Kakashi and Heavy. Now in this section, I've got a nuker and a tank. Now the reason why I have a tank in there obviously is to protect my team. So it is good to have like what you can do in this section here is actually replace Lee or Naruto Kage with B, someone like B or I, right, who also have a 35% chance to stun. I just personally like this team better, and it works for me, and I have enough stunners here. So far I've got 1, 2, 3 stunners, guys, out of 9 cells, or out of 9 characters. So as you can see now, I have got 1 stunner in each cell and 2 in the first one. Now the third one, I've got Sasuke Kirin, which is probably one of the best characters in the game, and I've got Sasuke Heavy, who is hands down the best crowd control character in the game. There's no one better than him. And the reason why they're so good together is because Sasuke Kirin also does damage rate reduction for the opponent, so they take more damage, and he has a 15% chance to stun, and also he has the more damage to D units, which are becoming more and more prevalent, such as Gaara's and Naruto Kage's, Gai's, etc., Yamato's, right? So someone like Kirin is perfect to take out tanks. He's the ultimate tank killer. And then you've got the best crowd control character in the game. Now I want to point out, guys, Heavy is one of the only characters that I recommend at 3 stars. Even if you have him at 3 stars, use him, because his first kill does 35% chance to stun, plus increases his crit rate, and then his second turn, which is a proc, has a 30% chance to stun, which is amazing. Like, nobody in the game has the same stunning ability as this guy. So having him at 3 stars, even with lower power, is much better to have in a PvP team than somebody with higher power, because of what he brings to the table. Then of course I have Gaara, just like above Naruto Kage, they complement each other perfectly. Having a secondary tank, you want to keep your crowd control guys alive, so having someone tank like Naruto Kage, Gaara is perfect. If you have Sugetsu, if you have Yamato, now even Guy with his limit break 2, because he has damage rate reduction for the cell, put those guys in there to protect your nukes and your crowd control. Now the thing with Heavy is he also is a nuke, so same with Kakashi, right? Those two kind of do their job in tandem, but these are the best crowd control characters in the game. Now other options, guys, I'm just going to show you that you can choose from crowd control. Like I mentioned earlier, you have users like B, right, who also do a 35% chance to stun. And then you have someone like I, who has the same kind of scenario. And if we go further down, you've got someone like Mitsuki, who has a skill 2 of Paralyze. So you have another Paralyzer there if you want to use a rare. And then you have Orochimaru, who doesn't have a stun, but he has a Confuse. And he has a Silence at 60% for a skill 2, which is phenomenal. I've done a video on him. Check it out if you want to know how that works. And I'm just going through the list here and seeing who else we have here. We have Tenten, obviously, as an AoE stun. We have Shikamaru with Shadow Stitch, which is the only Shadow Stitch in the game. You have Ino with Confuse. I don't really like Confuse as a crowd control personally, but it's there if you need to use it. And I believe that kind of is it for the crowd control characters. So I mean, you've got a lot of options, guys, so you can definitely build on that. But remember, the goal is 1 stunner per cell minimum. 2, if you can, have a couple AoE and have a couple single target, mix and match, right? And then have some tanks and some nukes to back you up. So let's see how this actually plays out in an arena fight. So I think I've done all my arena fights today. And again, this is my favorite kind of team, right? Like, it is somewhat balanced, yes, but obviously got a lot more. It's got a lot more crowd control. Yeah, okay, I'm first today. We're gonna actually go ahead and take a look at a fight here. We're gonna look at Boo, because he is the highest. He's my equivalent in power right now. We're always neck and neck, he and I. But we had a fight here, and I'm gonna go through the fight, guys, and show you why a crowd control team is so much better than a non-crowd control team, right? And see how having somebody with a stun and paralyze, you dictate how the battle turns out. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to watch Kakashi. Okay, he is the ultimate beginning character. Like, he does the most impact at the start of the battle. He gets really lazy midway, but he gets incredibly strong at the end because he keeps getting his Jitsu and raises his crit damage. But let's see if we can get a paralyze. Now he's got 35% chance to do it. There you go, paralyze, right? Now normally we'd want to keep that paralyzed as is and not kill the opponent. But that's my point earlier. You still want somebody there to be able to kill the opponent. Now let's see. Sasuke Heavy has a second skill that can do it. Okay, he didn't proc it there. That's okay. So let's see how this turns out. So as you can see, Boo's got pretty intense character development on his Jiraiya. I think he's easily the highest in it. Let's see here. So now people like Dara, he has crit suppression for a second skill. He hasn't procced it there, and that's fine. But that's what you want him for before he does his jutsu, because then everybody else just hits that much harder, right? Now you can watch Boo's Kakashi. He's going to do the same thing, right? So he didn't get a paralyzed off. And Naruto Kage, obviously, and this is why you want a tank there. Naruto Kage does so much more damage rate reduction than anybody else on my team. And now you get to see he do his Sannin move, and you get to see Cherry Blossom right now, which is her AoE stun. And at the same time, right now, you're going to see attack down, which is fantastic, because it'll make the tribe, if it goes off, hit that much less. Okay, so no stun there, but you saw the attack down, and then you saw me kill that. That stops the tribe. Okay, so tribe stopped, obviously, that he loses a turn. Now here comes my team with the 2 extra crowd control. Now I'm going to do a co-op here, and I'm most likely going to take a majority of his team. So you're going to get to see Kirin do his damage rate reduction and AoE stun if he gets it off, and then you're going to see Hebi either kill somebody or stun them as well with his special. Most likely kill in this case, because co-ops, he nukes really hard. So let's see if Kirin can at least crowd control anybody here. There you go. So Hinata and Kakashi both crowd controlled. So that's a whole turn gone, guys. Like, even if I don't end up killing them now, it's pretty much game over. Kakashi's going to die here for sure, and most likely Hinata will die. But that's the whole point here with the impact, right? You can see how much of a difference a crowd control team can do. Like, if he had his Churn still alive, that would have messed up his entire rotation, and he would have had to settle with only 1 or 2 characters left alive. And let's see if the Dara here pulls off his AoE mute. Now he does crit rate up for everybody, and he does a stun, so no stun there, and that's fine. That's the whole point of 15% chance. But as you can see, with 3 characters, he has a higher chance of pulling that off. So Naruto's going to heal himself here. Not very much, but he does do damage rate reduction. Now you can see Orochimaru does confuse. Now you can see my character's confused. Now his rotation is all screwed up. But now you get the chance to see Sakura and Kakashi do theirs again, right? So back to doing another paralyze, hopefully here. So this is the purpose, guys. You want nukes and you want crowd control as much as possible, and you want tanks to protect you. So there's Gaara's gone. Now let's see if Sakura can stun somebody here before the Dara, specifically the Dara in this one, because you want him not to go off with his move. Nope, didn't get it. That's okay. We did attack down. And I don't. There's a difference between crowd control and a debuffer, guys. Keep that in mind. A debuffer is somebody who removes stats from a character, right? So, for example, someone like Kirin who does damage rate reduction, or Sakura who does attack down. Those are considered debuffers. Now, a lot of characters, especially on my spreadsheet, if you take a look, are hybrid characters, right? They do everything the same way. Let's see if Kirin can pull this off. Get a stun off again. Nope. Probably kill somebody here though. Yep. So don't mistake a debuffer for a crowd control character. Debuffers are fantastic. They're required in every aspect of the game, but you need to make sure that if you have a debuffer, that you don't just settle for that. You have to have crowd control as well too, and it's the best way to win in an arena match, right? And as you can see here, due to all the crowd control and the New King, I haven't lost a character yet to my equivalent on my server. So this is the kind of thing you guys have to watch out for. So I hope that helped out, guys. Remember, crowd control, in my opinion, is the best way to go in the game. You need to have nukers. And guys, please don't shy from using my spreadsheet. There's a reason why I have it built there, and it actually explains to you in the main role section what each character does. There is crowd control in there, but it also shows you crit characters, new characters, etc. So make sure you guys, if you guys are wondering who does what and you want to build your team, there's a reason why I link that spreadsheet to every single video I do in the description section. Please go in there and take a look, and it'll help you kind of understand what I'm talking about and what characters to use. So I'm going to suggest this. If you have Hebi at 3-star, Sasuke Hebi, use him. If you have Kakashi at 3 stars, get his instant jutsu up and use him. Those are the 2 main URs I highly recommend. I'm going to also add Kirin, Sasuke Kirin in there as well too, and I'm going to add Dara in there as well. So those are the 4 URs at 3 stars that I highly recommend, guys. If you have them, use them because of their crowd control abilities and their secondary skills. If you have Mama Sakura, build her. She is amazing. If you have B, I still suggest not to use him unless you have no choice. I actually personally recommend I over him because first off, easier to farm and just overall just a tankier character. And again, for rares, you have Tenten. You can use Mitsuki as well too for a second skill, who's actually really fast. He's okay. There's still a chance, but you need to get his third skill up. So guys, I hope this helped out to understand how to build a crowd control team. I think they're the most potent teams in the entire game for PvP, and they're becoming like that for PvE as well too. As you saw the battle, they can be extremely dangerous to go against, and you have to watch out when you go against them as well too. So guys, this is Payne. Happy Father's Day again to those fathers, and everybody else, happy Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and we'll talk soon.